Hi everybody, this is Rob and Kurt with Two Brothers Hobby, and today we're taking a look at the Aerobeez MXS-R. Kurt, this is a 26% ARF. I believe they make this in what, 30%? This is 26. They make a 30%.
They make two different sizes. This being the 26%, and they're both different sizes. The larger and then the 30 and then 26% are available in a couple different color schemes.
Okay.
So it's bigger size, the same plane. But
Sure.
this one we have in front of us is the Matt Hall color scheme. And in fact, to give you a little bit of background, the MX Aircraft Company is out of North Carolina, the full scale, the actual prototype manufacturer. The MXS-R showed up in the Red Bull Air Race series, and we've watched it, compete for a few years now, and it performs very well. It's a very proven, airframe. It's very popular, and I think the actual company for the prototype is extremely backordered on the platform.
Yeah.
So we have the benefit of being able to fly the actual, the same layout, same design at a smaller scale, and we have availability. So,
sure.
It's all the better. And when we crashed it, it isn't, $200,000 either. But
feels like it.
The neat thing about this is the MX Aircraft Company, all their designs are more modern. They're more current designs. The company was founded in 2001, so everything's prior or post 2001.
Yeah.
So state-of-the-art engineering concepts, all the different aerodynamic considerations that go into sport racing.
Yeah.
And we've seen the MXS-R kind of proliferated across the RC community and being pushed out by more manufacturers.
Sure.
So it's kind of fun to fly the platform.
Yep.
In fact, Rob, why don't you go ahead and cover some of the specs on the MXS-R?
Okay, the Aerobeez MXS-R has a wingspan of 75 inches, a wing area of 888 square inches, a length of 69 inches. The weight, according to the instructions, should be between 9.2 to 10.6 pounds. As tested, we came out with 11.5 pounds. And the price at the time of this review is $339. Two Brothers setup. For the motor, we used a DLE 30 gas 2-stroke. Servos, we used 5 high-tech HS7955 TG high-torque titanium gear digital servos that produce 333 ounce-inch of torque at 6.6 volts. For the throttle, we used 1 HS7966 coreless digital servo. Radio system, we used the Aurora 9 2.4 gigahertz transmitter and an Optima 9 receiver. And for the radio ignition battery, we used a LifeSource 2100 milliamp battery.
And that's it.
That is it.
That's it.
Can't
that's
say
all.
anymore.
But it adds up pretty quickly.
Yeah, it does. It does.
The kit, what you can expect out of the box, of course, this is something that the best part about an ARF and a 3D plane is there's just so many big parts. There's just a few big parts. Your wings are already constructed. You need to do the hinging on all the control surfaces. In fact, the manufacturers received quite a few support calls, interestingly enough, as they produce ARFs, as the market produces ARFs of this quality in this price range, you have more people that are first-timers getting into
Sure.
it, into this class. So they went from maybe a foam that was fully built, an RTF or something, and all of a sudden they're getting into, I've got my piloting skills and I can afford to get into this class, which is great, but they don't have those building skills at all or assembly skills, so they're faced with hinging for the first time, and things like that. Of course, these aren't CA hinges, these are live hinges that are used.
Well, they're a pin hinge.
A pin hinge.
Yeah.
And the manufacturer slips them in the control surfaces and into the wing and into the horizontal stabilizer and stuff when you receive it, the kit. And instead of pulling it out and putting the right orientation on the hinge so it actually goes up and down, they're just pulling it apart, putting their adhesive on there and slamming it back together. And all of a sudden they find out that hinges don't work really well when they're hinged this way and this way. So you want to take your time and kind of pay attention to these things, but you do have to hinge those. Now, of course, a great tip when you're doing your assembly with those pin hinges is you're going to use epoxy on either side of that, but then drop a little bit of oil. Just a little bit of oil right on the hinge on top and bottom. Make sure you work it through, and then the epoxy won't stick to it. So you can kind of if you get a little bit messy with your epoxy, you don't have a blown hinge.
Yeah.
You just got a mess you got to clean up. But that's pretty much it. All your big pieces are done. You're going to spend more time cutting in the cowl, the engine clearance and the muffler clearance and stuff like that on the cowl, and installing the servos. Something interesting about the kits, the way they come, is the servo pockets are actually covered over. So the adhesive film is over top of those.
Yeah.
So you have to take your number 11 blade, sharp X-Acto, and just saw through it or cut through it, take the film off, and the ports are already there, it goes together very quick.
Yeah.
It's such a big plane, you can get your arm inside of there, you can reach
Yeah.
back and pull things
Yeah.
forward. So
That makes a big difference too.
yeah, but Aerobeez kind of builds these kits to be for somebody who's done ARFs before,
Yep.
that's familiar with them.
Sure.
And it's going to be pretty straightforward for you. But if you're a beginner and it's going to look a little strange, a little bit unfamiliar, and you're going to want to walk through those steps very carefully. But
Yeah.
overall, big pieces that go together very easily.
Yep.
So now the next step is, of course, take it out and fly.
Fly it.
So let's go take a look at the review for the flight footage, and then make sure you come back for part 2 for the review scoring.